let's develop a complete line of business application. So when we're going to develop a complete line of business application, we have a couple of choices. And actually, let's see the documentation on DevExpress about this. We can create a software from scratch. We can adopt a universal product, or we can use SAF. So let's start with the pros and cons of each scenario. So if we are going to create a software from scratch, we're going to need, there are a lot of moving parts in a line of business application. That meaning database, that means UI design, that means UX, that means the code. Of course, we need developers to create the features. That means in a line of business application, it's important features like reporting, dashboards, file attachment, and so on, so on. So when you're creating a software from scratch, you need a complete software developer team. That means a database administrator, a UI designer, project manager, a developer, so on, so on, so on. So it becomes expensive. It becomes a lot of moving parts. It becomes really cumbersome. You need a complete team to create this application that you are after. But there is also a lot of advantage of doing that. You control every little part of that development. You control, even if you want to create the new Facebook, you can. You have complete control from scratch to the whole application, from your database to your code to everything in between, to load testing, to so on, so on. So that's the first scenario. Let's go to the second one. The second scenario will be adopting a universal software product like Microsoft Dynamics. And that also has advantage, because if you decide to go for there, that's something that it has been also tested for a lot of years. It has have a lot of users, but it also has its disadvantages. This general universal product most of the time don't have enough extensibility or enough customization if you need to a specific feature that only applies to your business requirement. So, and not only that, because it has this special methodology or this special way of doing things, at the end, even at the beginning, you start saying, okay, I can put this together, almost no code, I don't have to do too much. At the end, most of the time, you have to hire an expensive consultant to get to the last. You do the 80% part, and the 20%, the 10% is too expensive. You need the expensive consultant to do that. So how about SAF? SAF is kind of in the between. It's not codeless at all. You need to be a developer to use SAF, but it has a lot of ready-to-use modules already. So it has a lot of modules like reporting, dashboard, file management already used for those general purpose things. It's not specific to an industry, but it's easy configurable for any industry that you have. So SAF definitely is the sweet spot where you can actually extend anything. You can, it's like removing all the cons from all those two choices and trying to keep in the pros. Is from the creating a software from scratch. In SAF, you can modify or extend or customize any part of your application exactly as if you were creating a software from scratch. Because the most important part that we want to you guys living here with is SAF are regular .NET application. It can be regular WinForms, regular ASP.NET, regular Blazor. So at the end, they are regular .NET application, and everything that you can do over there, you can do it here. But SAF saves a lot of time for you because it takes care of a lot of low tasks like database creation, database migrations, UI generation. So and we're gonna do a demo, and we're gonna talk more about the SAF architecture concept and so on. But SAF is creating the data structure, your database, your UIs, and everything from your data model. So as your data model grows, so you don't have to do anything. All new views are being created, all new tables are being created. So it's that sweet spot that it definitely makes a whole difference while developing the line of business application. You guys want to add something?
Yeah.
I
will say that what is, for me, what is the best about this approach is that, for example, that SAF and XPO interacts with already well-known technologies. For example, you can develop an application in SAF and through XPO connected to MySQL. This is a database that anyone can have in their server, in the, underneath the desk or in Azure or whatever. But a lot of these frameworks, like the complete application framework, usually they do everything on a black box type of architecture. So, for example, like I was in Dominican Republic on January. I was training a team for SAF and XPO, and basically they say that, okay, you know that in Spain there are a lot of frameworks, like companies who make application frameworks. You cannot imagine how many offers the country of Spain has for that. So, but all of them are really mysterious. For example, like you write your code in some strange language that they develop for themselves, you send it to the server, it compiles there somehow, and then they send you an executable. So then you don't have any, you cannot ask any regular programmer, you cannot check Stack Overflow, you cannot connect to a regular database. So yeah, those frameworks maybe are productive because maybe you can create an application like really fast, but maybe it might be fast, but you are like tied to something. You don't have access to the code, and the code might be pseudocode, might not be like C# or something like that, or C++. It might be their own version of a language. So for me, what is best is that, yeah, it handles everything for you, and that it interacts with well-known or current technologies that everyone will use. In this case, .NET Core, .NET Framework, the full version, any database that you can imagine through a standard way, which is Ado.NET. So in that sense, it's like it checked for me all the boxes. Like I want to do everything like really fast, but I don't want it to be like in a black box. So for me, those are the requirements. I have them there. I have the language, and I have the access to like really common technology, C#, Visual Basic, and any databases through Ado. So that's my 2 cents, my 40 cents in this.
There's
your answer.
There's another thing I want to address here. It's like in this schema, it's very clear where you have XAF development, Visual Studio, and codeless development. So there are gaps, but it's in the middle spot in between. But the thing is,
hi everybody.
Hi. The thing is with XAF especially, is like you can develop line of business applications from scratch. That's easy. You have no schema. You're going fast. Do your stuff. Adding business logics, adding validation rules, adding color reports, or all the other stuff. Most of the time, I'm working with XAF is like migrating older systems to a modern way, or modern UI, or not even a modern UI, but modern how it's called modern needs, or modern business needs. Like you have to do reports once a night, or and then always you have to decide if you do, okay, stick with the old database, or do we need a migration of the database from an ancient one, like, or a single one like Access, for example, or whatever data store you use, and then bring it up to the next level because business needs are rising. And then XAF can really shine, because most of the time all this old technologies or older databases like DB2 and all that kind of old legacy code base, you have to do hundreds and thousands of hours doing some crazy shit, or just say, okay, for now the database stays where it is. We do the UI new and the business logic new through XAF, and then we do an import export stuff once we are switching to a new technology. And then we have like, we can use it on the web, we can use it with Blazor, we can use it with WinForms, and no other tool out there can do that, in my opinion. Not on that level, not on this ease of use.
Javier, it's your turn.
Yeah, no, actually, if we're seeing here the picture on the screen, SAF development isn't like in the middle between doing it from scratch and codeless development, because it's partially automatic, partially codeless. So all those UI generation gets created for you. You have detailed view, list view, lookups, everything. As your data model is growing, you don't have to do anything. All of that is happening for you. So it's also fully flexible architecture. That means that you can intersect any part. And I will say it's not for everyone. If you find yourself customizing the UI 80% of the application, maybe you should do it from scratch, because you have to, like, again, you have really specific needs. But if not, SAF is a great way of get fast up and running. It's something like I can show a prototype to my client tomorrow. That's it. And we're gonna show a demo here, like, and we have 2 hours, and I definitely gonna push for like a 40 minutes minimum of questions, so we can discuss a lot of questions that we have on the agenda. But we're gonna show that we can create and have some prototype, let's say like that, some simple app in, I don't know, 20 minutes. We'll get to that demo that I think that it will show that it's taking us more time to discuss about SAF than actually sitting down and getting it ready. So let's go to this, and this is an important one. What is SAF target audience? SAF is not for, it's directly to .NET developers. You need to be a .NET developer. You need to have knowledge in SAF, in C# or Visual Basic.NET. Of course, SAF try to abstract as much as it can for you, so you don't need to be a master on JavaScript, but definitely having some knowledge in JavaScript will help you out, some knowledge on HTML. So, but if you are a .NET developer that have some experience in offline or business application, SAF will be the amazing tool for you. I remember the first time that I saw SAF, I create file new project. I didn't do anything. I run it, and I have login screen already, a window, a menu, a ribbon, some actions. I was like, I haven't done anything yet. So you can focus on what is important to your app. That is creating features, giving values. Is focusing in those important parts and not in like plumbing, and let's create this new table, this new migration, this new script. Everything of that is taken care for you. So definitely SAF is designed for the .NET developer with experience on line of business application, and it will actually skyrocket your productivity, and we'll see it in the demo soon enough. So, and actually, let's quickly read the features that are favorite among SAF developers, and I will just read the documentation, but I can definitely agree with everything that is here. It does the automatic database and UI generation for Windows web and mobile, with support for over a dozen databases with Entity Framework XPO. Rich runtime UI customization for both developer and end user. That means that without having to redeploy, and especially, and let's talk about WinForms in this case, for example, in runtime, without having to redeploy your applications, you can change the layout of your detail view. You can change, hide a column, rename it, add a calculated field, add a validation rule, add an appearance rule. You can do a lot of functionality right there without having to redeploy your application. So definitely it has that steroid. I would say that's a line of business on steroid that you already have it running, and you can change everything you want. It comes with a lot of, I think that around 20 modules ready to use. That is reporting, security, validation, data visualization, like dashboard, KPI, file management, maps, a lot of already good to go for you to use. And not only that, they are fully configurable. Your business logic and your UI configurations, they are shared across all the platforms. So if you go to your module in the project and you change a layout, or you change your business logic, that is going to go across all your platforms. So, and we're going to get to the point that we're going to discuss migrating to the new Blazor application. If you will see that if you have everything in your agnostic model, you don't have to change anything. That will be completely reusable when you are migrating to the new Blazor goodness. And with SAF, and this is the most important, developer can stay focused on giving value. Let's just focus on business features, not in low tasks like database and OI management and so on. So let's continue. We talk about what is SAF, agency. Okay, let's talk about the architecture real quick. So this is a picture that has been for years and years and years. And I think that every SAF developer is already identified with this picture. And I think that we pretty much have already talked a little bit about this as a whole, but I will quickly review this. If we see in the bottom layer, we have the database with the ORM layer that is Entity Framework XPO. Then we have our application specific classes, that's our classes, and we have the business class library that are class provided by DevExpress with already some common entities like person, phone number, address, and so on. So we have then our controllers, that is the way to interact with all the functionality that we're creating, and we have a controllers library that is already built-in controllers that are coming, and our application specific controller. We have the model that is I think one of the great thing about SAF, that we have a soft layer that we can customize our applications in runtime and desktop time actually. And we have then our views, report, dashboard, and all the platform, Windows, ASP.NET, mobile, Blazor, so on, so on, so on. Blazor is not here because this picture has been created for a few years back. But this is one thing that I like about this illustration. Areas of extensibility, this everything that is with this dash line. And if you see, almost everything is dashed. That means that you can go and change anything you need whenever you need, and you can feed it to your specific requirements. Okay, so let's go from there. Okay, let's go to a few concepts of SAF because this is important, and we will see it. We will see all of this in the demo, but we have okay, let's review here. I wanted to see, no. Okay, we have the model that we talk about. We have the business, the application model, the UI construction, the controllers and action, this one. So controllers are the way that we can actually include functionality in our application. We have view controllers, Windows controller. View controller is only focused on a specific view. Object view controller is focuses on the object, but it doesn't matter which view. We have window controller to handle the application as a whole, as the abstraction of the whole application. And we have all the actions that mean simple action, pop-up Windows action, parameterized actions, and so on, so on. Single choice action URL. So we have sometimes people asking, hey, is that enough for building our application? And it definitely, these actions will handle almost every scenario that you can encounter. The simple action is like a button or like an action that you click and go to the execute and do any processing. Then the pop-up window action, it will show you a pop-up where you can include some other information, and from there you can again execute some functionality. The parameterized action is like the full text. You can type something and then you can actually and actually we're seeing it here, like the simple action, like a parameterized action. So you have all those one. The single choice, you have several choices that choose one. The action URL, it will navigate to the action. I just saw in the chat someone saying that we should change the picture of the architecture. I agree. I think that one I agree that we could change it, but I also say that it has been there for so long that I think that we should make another one as a complement. So we have all those actions that we can pretty much handle almost business scenario that we need. From there, we are going to talk about, of course, we already talked about the most rated features. Let's talk about security for a second. So SAF security, and SAF security is really powerful to the point that we are using SAF security API not only for SAF, for non-SAF application. We pretty much are using SAF for everything because it's really powerful, really granular. It has a permission policy where you can allow or deny everything by default. It has a navigation permission to allow or deny certain users or certain navigation. It has actions permission. That's the new key on the blocks where you can actually tell a user if they are allowed to, I don't know, delete, save, or any custom action that you have. It has a object permission, type permission, you name it. SAF is really granular. And if you see here in our illustration, we have the authentication API where we're going to check for credentials either through Active Directory or even to the database. We have the authorization then to check role base to say who has access to which part of the application. And this is the great for any .NET app. So not core, the .NET framework, any .NET app, you are able to use it. And of course, based on your database tables that can be protected depending of the user, on the role, on the permission policy, and so on, so on. So, but and this is the part that we are also be talking about. What part of the default SAF UI is customizable? Without going too in deep here, I will leave the link so you guys later can read it. Everything. You can actually pretty much get inside there, get the underlying control and modify anything that you need. So let's not take only our word for it, because we are real biased. We like SAF, we are already there. So we have a lot of testimonials and case studies with real people, with real applications, solving real problems. So right here, and we can check for SAF real quick. A lot of, after using SAF for 5 years, I can't even think of building a complex application without SAF. That's myself there. That's not my testimonial, but I will say something like that. In every application that I use SAF in some way or another one. We have here the ERP by Martin. That is a Prancon is an ERP. If I read the case story, they start like with 1 or 2 developers and they got until 7, and they are handling something like few hundred companies, 700, 900 companies. So think about that: 7 people, 5 people doing a software that handles that amount of.
Noxe was really one of the first unicorns, I guess, using XAF, and he's located in Tirol, so it's about 400, 500 kilometers from my place, and he totally rethought the whole business, the whole building production sites industry with his product. So it's enormous what he's done with us. So awesome. Noxe is did a really great job with XAF, and he's really advanced user, and neither does he know every feature of XAF yet. But it's awesome.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But that's the power of SAF, that because it's not love about technology, it's about love about creating real application and actually doing real solutions to real problems. So one thing that I forgot before about XPO, we have here the getting started. You can go there and check all the tutorials. There are a lot of tutorials on GitHub that is showing you how to do things on console, on WinForms, on ASP.NET, on Blazor, everything. So please go from there. And not only that, if you run into any block code and into any roadblock, DevExpress has excellent support that is like the extension of your thing asking, or ask us, the community. We're here to help you out, to grow together, to learn together. So let's continue. Then I think we talk also SAF provide these demos that are already complete sample applications that you can see the whole code. You can see how they're doing everything. Do you have Windows ASP.NET Blazor demos that you can actually go there, see how they are implementing everything, modify it to your needs, and so on, so on. So we're gonna get to the same point that we get before, guys. I will give you 60 seconds, and actually, I think that we can do something like I will put a stopwatch so we can see it. Right here.
Manuel, you start.
60 seconds of why you choose. Okay. Come on. Am I in the right place or no? No, right here. Okay. 60 seconds of why SAF, and go. You are in mute, Manuel. You are on mute.
Sorry, say hello to Dennis first, because he's now in the chat. So nice. for everyone that wants to ask.
Yeah, and questions. I want to say that to everyone who is in the chat. First, thank you for coming, and second, I wish that when I started, I had the opportunity to have Dennis to ask him 2 million questions. So please feel free to ask him anything.
He was stalking us. Thanks, Manuel. I was almost there from the beginning, just silent. Why XAF in 60 seconds? Whoa. From idea to finish in almost 20 minutes if you know what you're doing. But the main or the best thing about the XAF is it's not fire and forget. You can start a project. You can go in 20 minutes or half an hour, really fast, get your thing done, and if requirements change, you can adapt in and refine your business idea and go in a more specific direction. And that's the most flexible thing you can do from prototyping till production with the same tool without worries.
Nice.
Almost.
55. Nice.
Almost no worries.
57 seconds.
Okay,
So
that's fine.
my turn.
Yeah.
Let me know when I should start.
Go for it.
Well, for me, it's like I would say it is the main advantage is that as a solo developer, I was able to develop really big applications. The one that the type of application that you might need a team, and I was doing it alone. So if you want to break through from being a solo freelancer to have a company, or to at least invoice as a company, XAF is the tool for you. It will pay itself more than, I mean, the return of investment is really high. So as long as you can use it good enough, then who doesn't want more free time and a set of rules to make an application? I mean, if you get that as a developer, it's like, yeah, here is my money. I take it to my pocket. So that's for me. It's like, as a solo developer, you can target customers that you might not be able to target alone. So the return of investment, I would say.
Nice. So I will make it even shorter. I will say that XAF has allowed me to go past the imposter syndrome. So to make sure that I can commit to a project, to a customer, I know that I will be able to deliver, that I will be able that I will be able to get to the point where I'm solving, again, I always say the same tagline, but it's true, that I'm solving the real problems for real, I'm doing real solution for real problem, because that's the whole goal at the end. It's not love about technology, is to be able to have the right tools for the right work to solve your client's project, your client requirements. And XAF has allowed me to skyrocket my productivity and to skyrocket the productivity to my team, to have a new developer and train him in the XAF way and be up and running quickly and be shipping production code as soon as possible. So that will be it on my side. I will again say, if anyone on the chat would like to say why XAF in 60 seconds, even if it's not right now in the middle of the presentation, let us know, and we'll actually definitely unmute your mic, and we'll definitely would love to hear more experience, more real projects, everything that you have worked on. We would love to know, to hear about the community. So let's continue. Let me share my screen again. Okay, so if you are a new developer starting with XAF, and let me close a few links. Definitely, the XAF has a really nice getting started where you can go through basic tutorial and comprehensive tutorials, and they actually have one for Blazor now. So I remember when I started, I did definitely go through all those tutorials. I did one by one, create a new application, create new controllers, new actions. So they have a really, and they have a lot of also how-tos, a lot of examples. Please go through all of those. That's a great learning resource, and the documentation, it has been improving and improving and improving by the year. So that's, again, a great place to start. And as always, join the community, reach out to us, reach out to other XAFers, share your knowledge. That's a great way to ease your learning curve. From there, of course, I have to give a shout out to us on XAF. We are putting more and more links. Right here, we have pretty much, again, the documentation, sample projects, demos, all the modules, videos, modules API of the week, the community stand-up that we're doing right now, some blogs that are related, podcasts, presentations, tooling, courses, testing, localization, consulting, other language, deployments, how-tos. So we are trying to increase and make this like a central place to make more and more links. So definitely, please check it out and feel free to contribute. Definitely. So I think that we are in the point, Jose, of doing a demo. Jose, he's the brave guy who offered himself to do a demo without no preparation whatsoever. I was asking.
I created a folder called demo. That's the only thing that I did.